Welcome all to day 7 of 14 in the run-up to the CFA Level 1 May window. Today's concept, we are going to look at exchange rates, just because we've had an influx of questions, of instructor comments on the site about questions flying around in the mock on exchange rates. So we need to clear this up. And to be honest, it's a concept that you might know from the real world, but use a different convention. So that's why I think it causes a lot of confusion. In the CFA curriculum, I'm here to tell you for a fact, whether you like it or not, that if you see this quote, yen per USD, yen is the price currency. USD is the base. You may well use sites that do the exact opposite. If you do, it's unfortunate, but you've got to get used to the fact that in the exam, this is how it's going to look. The US dollar is 1 unit. It is the price of USD. Imagine USD is a thing on the shelf. This is how many yen would it cost you to buy that thing. That's the price currency. So here it's 142.45 yen per USD. If you're currently furiously typing and saying, no, that's not how my site does it, you might well be right. There are lots of sites. The one I use doesn't do it like that. But that's how the CFA are going to do it consistently throughout the curriculum. So just as a little aside, imagine this rate went to, let's say, 180. That means previously it would cost 142.45 to buy one of these USD things. Now it would cost 180 yen to buy one of these USD things. So it costs more to buy, if that was the case, 1 USD. It costs more in the price currency. That would tell you if that movement happened in the currency, you would say that the USD, the base here, has appreciated. It is more valuable because it costs more yen to buy it, but you would have to be specific, you say, against the yen. Conversely, the yen has depreciated against GBP, not GBP, against USD, because it costs more yen to buy that same single unit. But that's not where I was going to go today. Today, I just want to show you how to calculate the forward, the no-arb forward, and state whether that forward implies a premium or a discount for these currencies. So let's do that. The forward rate, and I am fairly evangelical about this, the forward rate quoted today for one period is going to be the spot rate multiplied by the interest rate differential. So 1 plus R over 1 plus R. I know there's a lot of foreign and domestic going on in the underlying curriculum. You're not asked to remember letters and formulas. You're asked to use them. And the easiest way to use this formula is to remember it as price over base. The problem with using foreign and domestic is if you get on a plane rather and move, then the rate flips around. If you use price and base, that second quote, or rather second currency in the quote, is always the base. It keeps it simple. So we have here a no-arb forward equal to 142.45 into 1 plus R for the price. The price is the first. It's the JPY. The price is there, 0.2%. So 1.0, be careful here, 0.2 divided by, there's the base, 1.05. That will give you the no-arb forward price of 135 spot 94. 938, but we're just rounding it to 94. Now, what does that imply? Initially, we had 142.45 as the spot. The forward is 135.94. I would say this, if I focus on the base, the US dollar in the forward market, if indeed this is the forward price, the US dollar in the forward market is buying, well, 135 instead of 142, fewer yen. US dollar in the forward market is buying fewer yen than in the spot market. That means the US dollar here is trading at a forward discount. There you go. Now, that conclusion in itself might not be that shocking because you're like, yep, we've learned the formula, Richie. There it is. You put it through. Okay. If this number, the forward, is lower than the spot, we can say it's at a forward discount. You can express it in points. You can say the forward is 135.94. The spot was 142.45. That is minus 6.512. We express it in points by multiplying it by, and be careful, most of the time to express points, we multiply it by 10,000. But the rule is we multiply by 1 and the number of zeros equivalent to the number of decimal places in the quote. Here with yen, we have 2 decimal places, so just 2 zeros. So the points for yen multiplied by 100, we'd express that as minus 651.2. Negative points means the base, as we see here, is at a discount. Again, you're saying, yep, Richie, we've seen the formula, it's fine. Why are you getting so excited about this? Well, I'm excited because of this. We are saying the base, which is USD, is at a discount because it has the higher interest rate. And that is not always intuitive. That's not something that sits nicely in people's minds. But it's the truth. And it has to work because it has to be that way to prevent arbitrage. Let's see why. Let's imagine today I had 14,245 yen. And I decided to turn those into USD. If I did that, I would end up at the spot rate of 142.45 with 100 USD. So let's say I borrowed yen and turned it into USD. Now let's say I invest those US dollars at the US interest rate of 5%. I would have $105. The downside, my yen loan will grow at 0.2%, 1.002, and be worth 14,273.49 at the end of the period. Well, let's use my US dollars to pay off this yen loan. I've invested risk-free, I borrowed risk-free, I had 2 identical assets to start with. What do I have at the end? If the forward rate is 135.94, what I have is 105 multiplied by 135.94, 14,273.70. A slight difference there, just to rounding. The point is, I exactly pay off my loan. And that has to be the case. If this rate was different, imagine, for example, this rate was 140, 105 times 140, I'd end up with 14,700. I could more than pay off my yen loan and have cash left over without taking on any risk. Locking in the forward rate, locking in the risk-free rates, I make an arbitrage gain. That can't happen. So this has to be the no arb forward rate. This is the no arb forward rate from this calculation, which means the currency with the higher interest rate will trade at a forward discount. Why? Because the interest rate differential will be offset by a discount in the forward rate to make sure you don't make those arbitrage gains.